Most customers don't want this, and you don't want this either. This is what keeps the business from suffocating. This is how clients can understand your pricing instantly. If you're a detailer and pricing still feels like guessing, this video is for you, because most detailers are pricing their services wrong, and it's the reason they're busy and still not making the money they expected. But here's the problem. You can be a good detailer, you can stay booked, and still be underpaid. Not because detailing doesn't pay, but because your pricing isn't connected to time. So in this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to price your services so it actually makes sense. So you stop wondering, is $200 too high? And start knowing exactly why you charge the prices that you do charge in your detailing business. And this works even if you're a beginner, even if you don't have a shop, a trailer, or a crazy setup. I started detailing out of my parents' driveway with nothing but basic tools. I undercharged, I took forever on jobs. I had weeks where I felt busy nonstop, but the money didn't match how tired I was. What changed everything is when I stopped pricing based on my feelings and started pricing based on hours and aligned my time with my services and with my prices. First, I'm going to show you why raising prices doesn't work if you don't know your hours. Second, I'm going to show you the simple formula that you can use to price any service anytime. Third, I'm going to show you how to build a clean pricing structure so clients can book without friction. At the end, I'm going to give you a quick trick you can do today to fix your pricing using your last 10 jobs. If you follow this, pricing is going to stop feeling stressful and start to feel simple and aligned. Let's be honest, most pricing detailing advice sounds pretty good, but doesn't actually make any changes in your business. You hear things like stop being cheap, charge more, but none of that answers the real questions that detailers are asking, which is what number actually makes sense for me to charge? Or are we just going off random numbers that we see other detailers charging online? Because pricing isn't meant to be emotional, it's meant to be mechanical. So we're gonna explain why you should charge what you charge and how you can build a system so you know the numbers that you charge and you feel confident in it. This is the first pillar of knowing what to charge. You have to know how long each one of your services takes. If you don't know how much time is being spent on each client, you'll never know your hourly rate. When someone says, I charge $150, should I charge $175? That question means nothing to anybody because it doesn't have sufficient context. No time attached, no structure behind it. You're not actually talking about pricing, you're talking about a feeling. A whim, because that same price can have two completely different outcomes depending on time. One detailer does the 175 job in 2 hours and walks away feeling great. Another detailer does that same job but takes 5 hours and they feel drained, behind, and underpaid. And this is all with that same price. This is where beginners get stuck. They think the problem is the price, but the problem is that you're not connecting your service prices to the amount of time that it takes. So I'm going to make this ridiculously simple because pricing does not need to be complicated. Step 1 is deciding your desired hourly rate. And I want you to think about that right away. Not revenue, not what sounds impressive, not what someone on YouTube says you should be making. What do you want to earn per hour with your time doing detailing and do the administration work and filling up bottles and all the other detailing activities? What is your time worth when you're doing all of that? Just pick a number and you can adjust it later. The biggest mistake here would not be choosing one at all. After you pick your hourly number, you add $10 to that right off the top. That extra $10 is not profit that you spend. It's protection. It covers chemicals, towels, wear on equipment, gas, small mistakes, and the reality that taxes don't care about how hard you worked. So if you say I want to make $50 an hour, your pricing rate isn't $50, but it's $60 per hour. Obviously, this extra 10 is subjective. And it's just a number I picked to make it easy for beginners that don't have full Excel spreadsheets of how much each job actually costs them. It is wise to figure out these numbers for yourself in your own business. See how much you spend on supplies and see how much you're going to have to spend on taxes, and then divide that by the total number of appointments that you're going to do for that year. This is how you can see how much each job takes on average. And whether you go with the $10 or you find out that number for yourself, this is what keeps the business from suffocating. Because when you price at your exact desired pay with no buffer, this is how you can start feeling like you're not making the money that you're supposed to be. Every expense feels like it's coming out of your pocket. Instead of feeling like you own a business, you feel like the business owns you. This is how people end up working nonstop and end up feeling behind. The buffer is what turns a detailing job into a business. Now that we have a pricing rate, let's talk about the part that fixes everything. And this is budgeted hours. Budgeted hours is just a fancy way of saying, how long is this detailing service going to take for it to make sense with my hourly rate? So let's say your hourly rate is $60. And if you're charging $180, the budgeted hours is 3 for that appointment. Now, if that job actually takes you 5 hours, you didn't over-deliver, but you underpriced. And this is a trap that most beginner detailers live in. They think I just need more clients, but no, you need the same clients, but priced correctly for your time. Here's something that beginners overcomplicate fast, is quoting. They think being professional means custom quoting every vehicle that they do. In reality, this can create a lot of friction in the booking process. Asking people to send photos, going back and forth in the DMs, explaining condition levels before they even book. Most customers don't want this, and you don't want this either. This causes you to have way more administration time talking to clients. This is why we don't start with quotes. We start with clear packages for the clients to choose from. A standard detail and a premium detail. Each one already has a price, a time range, and a clear expectation of what's included. This removes decision fatigue for the customer. Second, this protects your hourly rate because you already know how much each time package allows, and you can measure whether the job makes sense financially. Now here's the key part and where most beginners get confused. Having set prices does not mean that you have to ignore the condition. It means that you handle it after the customer is already aligned. If a vehicle shows up with excessive pet hair or just in terrible condition, stains, and you know you have to upcharge, this is where you apply a clear, already defined upcharge. Not a surprise fee and not a negotiation, just a simple adjustment tied to the extra labor. That's it, and most customers are going to understand this because it's logical. And you have it in the service description as well, letting customers know that excessive pet hair or excessive stain removal is going to cost more because it's going to cause you to work on the vehicle for more time. The mistake here is doing everything backwards by requiring customers to quote before you've built any trust with them. This approach lets beginners close faster, price confidently, and avoid getting stuck on nightmare jobs without more pay. Standard is your baseline service. Premium is a service for clients who want more of your time, more depth, and more attention on their vehicle. And here's why this works is you're not selling anybody. You're simply letting the client choose between the two options. Each option is tied to time. For example, a standard might be 3 hours and then a premium is 4.5. Now the pricing isn't emotional, but it's structural. Now, if you've been detailing cars, you might be asking the question, okay, we have the standard and we have the premium, and we upcharge based on condition to protect our time. But there's one thing that's missing here, and this is pricing by the size of the vehicle as well. Because any detailer knows that a bigger vehicle is just going to take way more time. Just like a way more dirty vehicle is also going to take more time. So we're going to protect ourselves on this front too. They simply choose what type of vehicle they have, and then they can see the price for that and decide if they want the standard and premium. That's how this process should go in the customer's mind. This doesn't create decision fatigue, because they already know what type of vehicle they have. Okay, I have a third row SUV, and the base for that is $225, and then the premium is $370. And then they're just making the decision between the standard and the premium and what type of service they want on their vehicle. This can be very simple, where it's just small/medium-sized vehicles are a certain price, and then large vehicles like SUV, vans, ton trucks are another price. This doesn't have to be super complicated. This is how clients can understand your pricing instantly and choose a package and choose a date without you having to send DMs back and forth with them. I've booked hundreds of clients that I haven't had to manually say a word to before I start cleaning their car. This is how you can create leverage and also make your hourly rate increase greatly by not having to do all this administration work and always be on the clock. This is going to cause burnout. You need to be able to somewhat separate yourself from the scheduling process sometimes. This system allows you to book clients without you having to do anything. You can focus on making sure your packages are clear and your offer is clear as well. Now here's the reality check. If you don't track your time per each job, you actually don't know your prices. You might feel good because you made $400, but if it took you 10 hours, that's $40 before expenses. And that's not pricing, but it's guessing. The fix is simple and you don't need some type of software. You just track these things in your notes app. Service type, vehicle size, price, start time, and end time. Once you do this, pricing will start becoming factual instead of just emotional. Here's what ties everything together. Look at your last 10 jobs. Write down what you charged and how long it took you. Then divide price by hours. That's your real hourly rate. Now compare that number to your desired hourly rate plus your $10 buffer per hour. You'll immediately see which services are underpriced, which jobs are taking too long, and where your services need adjustments. This is how you can go from guessing to just adjusting a system. If pricing has been stressing you out, I want you to hear this. You don't need a perfect price, you need a pricing system that works for you. Pick your desired hourly rate, add $10 an hour for supplies and taxes, set budgeted hours for your 2 services, track your time, and adjust based on real numbers. If you want my full beginner system on how to set up your prices what to put in your services, and how to build out an offer, I have a free training video linked at the top of the description that gives you the exact guide on how to build a 5K a month detailing business. It's going to be the top link in the description and also at thedetailingaccelerator.com. Watch that next if you want structure instead of trial and error when building out your detailing business. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.